In a realm where shadows twist and ancient powers awaken, two alpha werewolves clash in a ferocious battle destined to shake the very foundation of their existence. As Eldur seeks allies in his dark quest, an old god stirs, unleashing legions of undead warriors. But when powers collide at Veylan's fortress, who will command the Shadow Realm? Can ancient hatreds be buried, or will they doom all to eternal darkness? Join us to uncover the fate of the Shadow Realm. Chapter 1. As the Elder Scout's form dissolves into ash and shadow, the chilling power of Necros is fully awakened. The dark realm quivers under his newly revived presence, a stark reminder of his godly might. Amidst the eerie silence of the Shadow Realm, a sinister portal crackles to life. From its depths, a ghastly bony hand reaches out, clawing at the shadows as if to rip apart the very fabric of this realm. With a thunderous roar that shakes the foundations of the Shadow World, Necros emerges fully from the portal. Behind him, a horde of undead zombies spills forth, an endless stream of decay that floods into the Shadow Realm. Driven by his will, the ground where they tread turns black, life leaching out into the air, adding to the realm's despair. Necros towers over the land, his form a horrifying spectacle of dominance. As he strides forward, the realm itself seems to darken with his passage, and a cold wind carries his ominous decree.
So, the one called Veylan thinks he can subdue a god.
His voice booms across the distances, a declaration of war against the keeper of the realm. With purpose in his every step, Necros begins his march towards Veylan's fortress. The Shadow Realm that once contained whispers and echoes now trembles under the wrath of an awakened god, setting the stage for a confrontation of epic proportions. This chapter is painted with broad strokes of dread and anticipation, as the realm braces for the impending clash between two colossal powers. Chapter 2. Perched on a remote ridge, Eldritch and Winter's Alpha observe the ominous march of Necros and his legion of undead. The land itself withers under the undead god's touch, a sea of death advancing towards Veylan's fortress. Eldritch muses quietly.
This could be to our advantage. Necros, mighty though he may be, is not sovereign here. His challenge might just weaken Veylan enough for us to act.
But his words falter as a colossal blur of primal fury interrupts him. In a breathtaking display of power, the Alpha Prime, a massive werewolf even more formidable than Winter's Alpha, launches itself into the fray. Eldritch narrowly evades the attack by transforming into shadow. The Alpha Prime and Winter's Alpha engage in a ferocious duel, their growls and snarls echoing across the ridge. The Alpha Prime's eyes blaze a demonic red, its physical superiority clear. Caught between a desire to aid and a need to survive, Eldritch crafts a daring plan. He dives into the heart of Necros' advancing horde, disrupting the undead with his shadow magic. Necros, perceiving the disturbance, redirects his wrath towards Eldritch, who strategically leads the undead god and his legion towards the ongoing battle between the Alphas. As the Alpha Prime prepares to deliver a fatal blow to Winter's Alpha, the ground trembles under the weight of Necros' army. Distracted by the new threat, the Alpha Prime shifts its focus to the undead, its predatory instincts triggered by the mass of foes. Seizing the moment of distraction, Eldritch assists Winter's Alpha in making a narrow escape. The battle scene becomes a chaotic clash of primal rage, undead persistence, and shadowy manipulation. As Necros and the Alpha Prime collide, the landscape of the Shadow Realm echoes with the fury of unleashed powers, setting the stage for unforeseen alliances and betrayals in the heart of the darkness. Chapter 3. In the throes of battle, the Alpha Prime, A creature born from raw, hellish primal fury, lays waste to Necros' undead legions with terrifying ease. Each enemy felled fuels its ferocity, growing stronger and more formidable by the second. However, Necros, a god not easily thwarted, quickly tires of this interruption. With a mere gesture, a dark wave of his necromantic power washes over the Alpha Prime. The creature's life force is corrupted, turning it into an undead monstrosity, now a powerful general in Necros' army of decay. As Necros reassumes control and continues his relentless march towards Veylan's fortress, the Alpha Prime, now undead, leads the vanguard, its eyes burning with a ghastly light, an unholy fusion of primal rage and necrotic decay, enhancing its already formidable prowess. Meanwhile, hidden away from the immediate chaos, Eldritch attends to Winter's Alpha. Despite his lack of experience with lichen physiology, he does his best to tend the Alpha's grievous wounds.
I've never nursed a lichen before,
Eldritch mutters, half to himself.
so this is all rather experimental, but I believe you'll pull through.
He applies what makeshift remedies he can, hoping they stem the bleeding and ease the pain. Back at Eldur's hidden cave, a sense of urgency permeates the air as a scout bursts in with vital information. He breathlessly reports the sighting of Necros and his undead horde, now led by the transformed Alpha Prime, moving with purpose towards Veylan's stronghold. A sly grin spreads across Eldur's face as he hears the news. The room falls silent, all eyes on him, anticipating his next words.
My friends,
Eldur begins, his voice low and conspiratorial.
this may be the diversion we've been waiting for. Necros and Veylan, two titans clashing. It's the perfect opportunity for us to act. While they are preoccupied, we shall implement a plan to seize control over the nexus of this realm.
His gaze sweeps across those gathered, gauging their reactions to his bold strategy. As Eldur outlines his cunning plan, the tension is palpable, the risks are immense, but so are the potential rewards. With strategic precision, Eldur details each step, assigning roles and preparing his fellow elders for what could be the greatest heist of power in the history of the Shadow Realm. Chapter 4. Veylan, the omnipotent keeper of the Shadow Realm, had been watching every twist and turn within his domain. As he observed Necros' release and subsequent rebellion, he remained unfazed, confident in his unrivaled control.
Necros believes himself a threat.
Veylan mused aloud, his voice echoing across the ethereal landscape.
But he is no more dangerous to me than the smallest bug underfoot. Yet, this does present a splendid opportunity to remind everyone of the power I wield here.
He set out from his fortress, his form shifting and flowing like a dark cloud, moving to intercept the god of the undead. Meanwhile, back at Eldur's hideout, just as Eldur was gearing up to take advantage of the chaos, another Elder Scout burst into the scene, with news that could change their course.
I have found him.
The scout exclaimed.
I have found the sage.
Before Eldur could process this, the sage himself stepped into the cave, his presence commanding and serene.
The commotion has loosened the shadows that bound me. I have freed myself,
He declared. Eldur bowed respectfully.
Mighty sage, your wisdom is most timely. Our plight grows dire, and we are in need of your guidance.
Indeed, but first we should witness the clash between Veylan and Necros.
The sage suggested, leading the group to a safe vantage point from where they could observe the impending showdown. As Veylan confronted Necros, the realm seemed to hold its breath.
Halt, go no further.
Veylan commanded with an air of absolute authority. In response, Necros unleashed a barrage of decaying energy and tendrils, commanding his undead legion to attack. With a mere wave of his hand, Veylan effortlessly reversed Necros' assault, banishing him and his undead minions back into their shadowy confines. all but one, the Alpha Prime.
You had a job to do.
Veylan spoke directly to the Alpha Prime, who now stood bewildered, yet still under the influence of Necros' dark power. With another gesture, Veylan cleansed the Alpha Prime of its undead afflictions, restoring its primal essence. "Proceed," he commanded, and the Alpha Prime, reinvigorated with its original purpose, sprinted off to locate Winter's Alpha. From their hidden viewpoint, Eldur and his companions watched in awe and fear. The display of Veylan's power was beyond anything they had anticipated. Eldur, realizing the futility of their current strategies against such a formidable force, whispered urgently,
We stand no chance against him in direct confrontation. We must retreat and reconsider.
With haste, they retreated back to their sanctuary, their minds racing with the implications of Veylan's overwhelming might and what it meant for their own plans of escape and resistance. Chapter 5. In the dim light of the cave, Eldur paced restlessly, his frustration evident.
Veylan's power is unmatched. Facing him is a death wish.
He lamented. The sage, ever calm and introspective, responded,
Eldur, we were not meant to escape this shadow. Reality itself has placed us here, and it is here we should remain. Return to your shadow memory and accept our fate.
Serana scoffed at the sage's resignation.
And you are the wisest among us? Eldur has led us with courage and strength far greater than any shadowy counsel you offer.
She challenged. Eldur, caught between his reverence for the sage and Serana's fiery spirit, hesitated.
Serana, respect. This is the sage.
He started.
Yes, the sage who sides with humans and now condemns us to oblivion.
Serana interjected sharply.
Eldur, you are the rightful leader of the elders. Seize the power you deserve.
The sage looked deeply into Eldur's eyes, searching for a glimpse of the honor and loyalty he hoped still resided there.
Eldur, you could not do this. You are an elder of honor.
He pleaded, but before the sage could react further, Eldur's true intentions revealed themselves in a flash of betrayal. He lunged at the sage, fangs bared, and clamped down on his neck. The sage struggled, his powers waning under the unexpected assault. Serana joined in, her laughter echoing through the cave as she too bit into the sage.
The best of us? Ha!
Serana taunted as she drained him of his power. The sage managed to break free momentarily, staggering back with a look of profound betrayal.
Eldur, why?
He gasped, clutching at his wounds. But the pair was relentless. They advanced again, overwhelming him with their combined strength.
We are the elders now, sage.
Eldur declared, his voice cold with newfound resolve. As the sage fell to the cave floor, Eldur and Serana stood over him, their bodies absorbing the ancient wisdom and power of their former mentor. The cave grew silent, except for the eerie sound of power shifting hands.
The realm of shadows will have new rulers.
Eldur proclaimed, his eyes glinting with the dark promise of their ascent to power. Chapter 6. In the dim, flickering light of the cave, Eldur stood before his followers, his eyes burning with a fierce intelligence granted by the sage's power.
We must find Nocturna.
He declared, his voice echoing off the stone walls.
Veylan may have banished Necros effortlessly, but we will not engage Nocturna in battle. We seek to usurp his power.
An elder, uncertain and fearful, raised a point.
But would Veylan not simply banish our lord as he did Necros?
Fool.
Eldur snapped sharply, his newfound wisdom cutting through the hesitation.
I do not wish for Nocturna to fight Veylan. I desire his power. With it, I can challenge the very fabric of this realm.
Serana, standing close to Eldur, her eyes reflecting the dark ambition shared between them, smiled wickedly.
I knew you were the true leader, Elder. the sage would have had us resign to an eternity of shadows. But you lead the elders to ascendancy.
Eldur's plan unfolded further as he spoke, with a cold, calculating calm.
Once I possess Nocturna's power, I will seek the strengths of the other gods. The sage's wisdom has shown me the path to defeating Veylan. I will reshape reality itself, much like winter once did. But our new reality will bear the imprint of the elders, an eternal dominion shaped in my image.
Turning to his assembly, he commanded,
Dispatch all scouts. We must locate Nocturna without delay.
Meanwhile, Eldritch, having witnessed the overwhelming display of Veylan's might against Necros and the resurrection of the primal alpha, knew they were in imminent danger.
He seeks us again,
Eldritch murmured, glancing at Winter's alpha struggling to stand.
and he is too powerful. We must evade him.
Winter's alpha, injured yet resilient, tried to muster its strength, its primal essence flickering within.
We are vulnerable here.
Eldritch stated grimly.
Let us retreat to my shadow memory. It is a place he cannot reach.
With a sense of urgency, Eldritch guided the weakened alpha into the depths of his own shadow memory, a realm within a realm where they could hide from the relentless pursuit of the primal alpha. As they disappeared into the shadow, the faint hope of evading their pursuer gave them a momentary relief, shrouded in the uncertainty of their next move in the ever-unfolding drama of the Shadow Realm. Chapter 7. The Alpha Prime, infused with relentless primal rage and an unquenchable thirst for destruction, roamed the desolate landscape of the Shadow Realm. Its powerful howls echoed across the barren fields as it lost the scent of its intended prey. However, its acute senses soon detected another target, a shadowy figure darting through the realm. It was one of Eldur's scouts, on a mission to locate Nocturna. With ferocious speed, the Alpha Prime intercepted the Elder, materializing from shadow just in time to unleash its fury, tearing the Elder apart in a gruesome display of power. Unsatisfied and fueled by unyielding anger, the Alpha Prime continued its rampage across the shadowy expanse, hunting down anything that moved, its existence reduced to an agent of chaos and destruction. Meanwhile, deep within his fortress, Veylan stood before the golden nexus of energy, the core of his power and the control center of the Shadow Realm. The nexus pulsed with a strange anomaly, a recurring vision of a chrome mask.
Why do I see this mask in my realm?
Veylan murmured, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. For the first time in eons, the Eternal Keeper faced a puzzle that wasn't orchestrated by his will.
It's time I restored order,
He declared, his tone resolute, signaling a turning point in his dominion. Back in their hidden refuge, Eldur and Serana received their scouts with disappointing news. No sign of Nocturna's memory had been found. Eldur, now imbued with the sage's wisdom, pondered the situation.
He is here, but hidden behind a puzzle we are yet to solve.
He theorized. Serana, thoughtful and analytical, added,
The undead are visible to all, but elders and lichens have their constraints. Elders by night, lichens by the lunar cycle. Do we have such cycles here?
Eldur nodded.
Indeed, even in this eternal shadow, there are cycles of darker and lighter shades, akin to night and day, and the phases of the moon. Let us then calculate these cycles.
Eldur decided, turning to his gathered elders.
We will use this knowledge to our advantage and uncover Nocturna's hiding place at the opportune moment.
As they set about their calculations, the urgency of their mission was clear. With Veylan poised to put them all back in their box and the threat of the Alpha Prime looming large, Eldur and his allies knew time was against them. The next phase of their plan would require precision, stealth, and an understanding of the Shadow Realm's unique laws, a task fraught with peril, but necessary for their survival and ultimate freedom. Chapter 8. As the Shadow Realm cycled into its version of night, a portal pulsated with an eerie energy, manifesting only under the cloak of darkness. Eldur, resolute and determined, stood before the gateway that only he could perceive.
I will undertake this alone,
he declared to Serana, his tone laced with the gravity of the moment. Serana, though apprehensive, nodded in support.
You will prevail,
she affirmed, though the uncertainty in her eyes betrayed her words. Eldur stepped into the portal, entering a desolate landscape devoid of life. Here, in a dominion shaped by vampiric essence, nothing survived. All was consumed. Nocturna, the vampire god, materialized with a swift elegance, his presence dominating the barren vista.
Eldur, your actions have roused me once more. You continue to serve me well.
Nocturna observed, his voice echoing ominously.
Yes, my lord.
Eldur responded with feigned subservience. He cleverly spun a tale of Veylan's overwhelming might, how effortlessly the Keeper had subdued Necros, planting seeds of doubt and fear in Nocturna's mind.
But I have devised a strategy that could amplify your power, enabling you to surpass Veylan and liberate us all.
Eldur proposed, setting the stage for his ultimate deception. Intrigued and driven by the prospect of overcoming Veylan, Nocturna consented to participate in a complex ritual that Eldur claimed would harness the realm's energies. However, at the critical juncture, Eldur, drawing upon the stolen wisdom of the sage, reversed the ritual's flow, siphoning Nocturna's power into himself instead. Nocturna, weakened to a mere shadow of his former self, crumbled to ash, his essence drained completely. Eldur, now imbued with the combined might of Nocturna and the sage, emerged from the portal, not just as an elder, but as something far more formidable, a being of immense power, his eyes alight with the forces he had commandeered. As Eldur stood among his fellow elders, his figure was not just that of their leader, but that of a deity among shadows. The elders gazed upon him with a mix of awe and fear, fully aware that the balance of power within the Shadow Realm had shifted dramatically.
Prepare yourselves. The time to confront Veylan is near, and I shall reshape reality in our image.
As the chapter closes, the stage is set for a monumental clash. Part 3 of the Shadow Realm ends with Eldur ascending to godlike status, poised to challenge the Eternal Keeper, Veylan, in a battle that could redefine the fabric of their shadowy existence.